Hi guys, welcome back to the second part of the Passat video. Now I did a poll on YouTube actually, I think it was about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, saying that this video you're about to watch is gonna be pretty rubbish. I mean, the Passat was a live car. What I mean by live is it was a real life situation. It's not my car, it's my brother-in-law's car. He ended up needing it back as soon as possible, so I had to come in basically one night, crack on with the job and get it out to him as soon as possible. So therefore I just didn't have time to film any of this, any properly of what I was doing basically. So the footage that I've got is the only footage I've got from putting the car back together. Now I did obviously say, do you want to see it or not? I did say it's going to be rubbish, and it was quite an overwhelming majority of you said yes, just show it anyway. So the small bits of time lapse that I have got, I will just talk over and explain what I'm doing. Ultimately though, yeah, the Passat is in and it's gone already. So if anyone watching has no idea what I'm talking about, just click in the top right hand corner and just watch the first video of the car. It's about basically my brother-in-law's Passat. It's worth about £1,000 and it came in and needed clutch, flywheel, I think a tyre, slave cylinder, front disc and pads as well. So it's actually going to end up being about £1,000 to fix it. So it's basically just a video of saying, is it worth spending £1,000 on a car that's only worth £1,000? I think you'll join me in the video where I was just about to replace the clutch and flywheel. So clutch and flywheel have just turned up along with the front brakes as well. So flywheel looks identical. It is an LUK flywheel. That is the old one is also an LUK, so I've just gone for like, and it looks identical, so that is good. The old clutch was a Transmec one, which is a cheapish, which probably explains why it's been obliterated. However, this time around I have gone for a Sachs clutch, which hopefully will be a bit stronger and not break up like the other one did. And also we got our release bearing as well, so we've got some decent parts, so that is fine. So now, just like a puzzle, I've got to put it all back together and hopefully I can get the gearbox in on my own without too many issues. The exhaust might be the only pain in the arse, and the wiring, trying to keep it away from the top of the gearbox, but hopefully, and these drive shafts as well. But hopefully it will all going swimmingly. So I'll put it on time-lapse again. Let's crack on. Right, I'm just going to talk you through what I'm doing on time-lapse like I've been doing for the last couple of videos. So clutch and flywheel gone on pretty simple, just 5 or 6 bolts on each one. I actually just align the clutch up to the flywheel with my eye. Sometimes I use a socket if I can find it, but that's been fine. Been doing that for many years, absolutely no problem. So this is actually one of the easiest gearbox to get in because there's no prop shaft. Gear linkage cable is really easy. There's just nothing in the way. Exhaust is tiny, as you can see. Look, it's just really easy to actually get in, and that was actually fine to do on my own. So once I've used the jack to get it all in position, it's just a case of putting everything back together. It is really that straightforward on this one, guys. Drive shaft's in, all the bolts in. Slave cylinder is bolted to the side of the gearbox. Again, you don't have to interfere with that, so there's no bleeding in the clutch. That's really nice and easy as well. And then it's just a couple of electric plugs at the side of the gearbox as well. Engine mounts, or gearbox mounts, sorry, really easy to go in. And yeah, job done. Right, so we move on to the brakes now, and if you remember, the offside had the pins on the slider pins had a load of crap on it, which in my opinion was what was the reason the brake pad had worn down so little compared to the other side. So what I've just done is I've shown you just a little bit of sandpaper and a little bit of block, whatever, and the one on the left is the pin that I've just cleaned up. So I got all the debris off, look, all nice and clean now, compared to the one on the right, look, it's all gunked up. And then what I'll do is I'll just put a bit of copper slip on the pin to make sure it's nice and greased up, and then it should slide in and out nice and freely, and therefore not holding the caliper on. So I'm going to do the same with this one now, grease them up, and now let's go and refit the brakes. So replacing the brakes, you've obviously just seen me clean up the sliding pins as well, and obviously you do the same inside the caliper, and then just put a load of grease on the sliding pins, and that should hopefully make the caliper move a lot freely. And then it's just a case of putting it all back together. A little bit of copper slip on the back of the pads, and where the pads contact the carrier, just make sure everything runs and moves freely. And then it's just a straightforward couple of bolts and a spring clip holding the brakes on. Nothing too drastic on this one. And yeah, job done. So there we go, Passat is all gone and done. That is as much as I managed to film before the car went out. Now, some of you were saying that I estimated the repair cost because at the time I hadn't actually looked into, I think I said between 1,000 and 1,500 to do everything, and that's before I even looked into any prices at all. Now, I actually managed to do it for just over 900 quid, which included a Sachs flywheel, Sachs clutch, new front disc and pads, I think it was 2 tyres, slave cylinder, and there was something else I did as well. So yeah, that concludes this short rubbish video. So in the next video, guys, it is back on the Porsche, and yes, I have gone out and bought some white spray paint to paint the panels at the back. So I'll catch you hopefully in the next 1 or 2 days for a next video on the Porsche. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.